Holly to offer an invocation. Do you still want to?
Absolutely.
Okay. You stand.
So Father God, we just thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to meet here and really consider what is best for our community and the ways that we as a council can serve. And so, Lord, I just pray that you'd give us wisdom, even give us protection as we are here today. And Lord, I thank you, God, for a country that comes together and rallies and does their very best in times of hard times. And Lord, I pray for protection for our community and really our country and the whole world, Lord. I ask for healing for those that are suffering and Lord, protection for the families that love them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The purpose of this emergency meeting I called tonight was to discuss the potential need to pay some of our employees deemed or labeled as essential employees. Now, I don't know who those employees necessarily were. It would be, obviously, be the sheriff's department and the jail staff. I don't know who else would be after that, but the cooks. But that's the commissioner's call. I wanted to discuss that and remove any obstacles that may be there, either perceived or real, on our part, so that we can make anything that they want to do easy for the commissioners to do on a lightning, fast type change and so forth. As we know, with this COVID-19, it's a very fluid and dynamic situation. It seems to be changing every day, if not hourly, and we just need to be prepared for it, for however we need to deal with it and make the changes. With that being said, two things I wanted to talk about were future meetings. I would like to follow the lead of the city and do ours virtual. I would be here as well. I will provide information for for virtual environment that we can call in, make it for the public as well too. Those that want to participate in that would be able to do so. And then secondly, if the need arises, if the commissioners feel that it's necessary to close the courthouse and have only essential personnel be here, again, want to make it easy for them so that they can do whatever they need to do. We've been allowed to forego the 48-hour typical notification for a meeting of this nature because of what is going on with the COVID-19. The governor has allowed this to happen from such short notice. With that being said as well, I probably could have conducted this bit of business via email or phone conference, but I did not want to. I wanted this to be in the open. I don't want any perception being that there's favoritism being shown here or some kind of backroom deal. I would rather just err on the side of caution in this case than to take a chance. And if I'm overly cautious and this could have been done otherwise, well, I'll take the heat for that. But I think it's essential that we lead. We've been voted by our constituents to do so, and we need to work with our commissioner counterparts to help them whatever they need to do and remove any obstacles that may be in their way so they can continue to do what they need to do. So the first thing I wanted to know is what are your thoughts on the virtual meeting?
Fine with
I think that is just wise.
Okay.
As long as there's some instruction for us, next generation.
It's pretty simple. You dial in, you put in a meeting code, and that's it.
Is it on your computer?
Yeah.
Do you have to download an app or something?
No. No, actually, it's through your phone. The one that I have, you can just go through your phone. So you can just do your cell phone. You could do whatever. We're not going to be virtual. We're not going to be looking at each other. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, to hear each other is what we need to be able to do and to communicate and talk. It's going to be a little interesting probably at times when somebody wants to talk, but we'll have to maybe go a little bit slower so that we don't skip by somebody. And
So this is not going through the internet then?
no.
I can say this though,
I'll
like
have to come to town then.
Holly and I do a lot of virtual meetings, and we've done the virtual calls. It is easier to hear and do these meetings via the computer, and it's it's
Zoom. If you have access to Zoom, it's the
Yeah,
easiest platform I know.
it's easier platform versus the phone, because you don't know when someone else is going to talk, and the Zoom kind of
See each other's
alleviates.
faces.
Yeah, alleviates that part.
Some people may not want to, they may want to sit around in their underwear or something, so.
Well, they can.
Sit at a table.
Yeah,
It's okay for here.
Wear a tie and shorts.
yeah.
So in either case, something will be sent out before our next meeting as to how we'll proceed with that and what tool or what mechanism that will be.
My cell reception out in the northwest part of the county is very sketchy, and most of the time I stand on the deck. That's not always favorable.
And hold your hand and your leg, and everybody.
Do you have internet connection?
I do.
And so if we were able to do an internet platform like Zoom, I'm just, there are others.
We're not going to beat a dead horse about whether it's Zoom, whether it's WebEx, whether it's something else. Something will be presented to you prior to our next meeting. So whatever that platform is, I'll be sure that it works for everybody
Okay.
before it's presented. So is there anybody in opposition to doing this? Okay. The next thing is now, I do understand that the commissioners could just enact this, but I don't want to be perceived as a hindrance to them. I want to be seen as somebody that's trying to help them do what they want to do. Again, they need to do that. I'm not saying that they will do this, that it's in discussion. All I'm trying to do is remove any obstacle. The budget has already been figured for all people to be paid throughout the year. We know that. And there's been discussion that should the courthouse be closed and limited to non-essential people be able to go home, that they would be continued to get paid. This is not our decision, this is the commissioner's decision. Again, I just want to remove any obstacle. All we're doing is rubber stamping this. We're not saying this will go into effect. What I would honestly like to see happen is, if it's even possible, and they would have to talk to our attorney, Mr. Wessling, if the current situation where non-essential personnel are sent home, then automatically the essential people get time and a half. Now, I would like to see us in agreement that we would allow up to that to be paid for the essential personnel, but optimally what I'd like to see is, because this is a unique situation, we're not talking, some typical situation going on. We don't even know how long it's going to last. Schools are just announced today that May 1st until they're out. I would like to see if the commissioners could, renegotiate that, put a temporary hold on that. I believe they'd probably have to talk to department heads or those that are considered essential and get probably 100% buy-in from that. I don't know, but all I want to do again is just help them, remove anything that's in their way so that they can move, because they're going to need to make changes rapidly. If they make an emergency order, then it really doesn't matter what we say anyways, because they override us in that situation. All I want to do is say we want to be good partners with them and help however we can. So with that, are there any comments? And again, this doesn't need to be made as a motion.
My only question would be, Monica, because we keep mentioning the courthouse in particular here.
Well, county employees.
Okay. Well, how does that affect union contracts?
I don't know.
That'd be my only concern.
I mean, again, that's we're probably getting into the weeds where the commissioners would get into. Dale, I mean, some county highway work may not even be deemed essential at this point. I mean,
Because their pay's set, but and even courthouse employees or one of the other departments, if they're paying them time and a half, and say they go over where overtime would normally kick in. And, I mean, this is just details, and hopefully we wouldn't get into it.
well, again, it's really a moot point. What we're doing here is more symbolic than anything, because whatever they enact, whatever emergency order they put in place, we've got to figure it out. So
I think it's a good idea.
I just don't want to be perceived as a roadblock. The council be perceived as a roadblock. I want this to be that we're trying to help them.
by all means, these are uncertain times that none of us have ever experienced before. And I think we need to do whatever we can to support our employees.
Yes.
I mean, I'm getting a lot of phone calls from various people that work in the county that are concerned, and, you know, the thing, my perception, your perception, Dale's perception, Gary's perception, everybody's perception is a little different on this whole thing. And we're not all gonna feel and think the same way. I mean, I know people that are in the healthcare industry that are scared to death, you know, what to do. And they're, I'm not saying that Kayla is, I'm just saying, I know she's in the healthcare industry, that the people are, you know, scared to death of what to do next. And some people are even leaving their jobs. John, it's probably got into your mind when we go on medical runs and
Yeah,
you get flu-like symptoms.
That's a big problem of ours, because medical runs, the two of us that normally respond almost all the time, that live next to the firehouse, myself and Dennis Inman. I'm 71, he's 69. So when we get to a scene of somebody who likes systems, that puts us on the edge of...
Right. So I know it makes us, you know, some of us a little uneasy, and we've got to respect them and their decisions. And again, that's my only intent. It's not to tell the commissioners what to do, that they should do this, they shouldn't do that. I'm not going down that path. I will never go down that path with them. I trust in their wisdom of whatever they come up with will be in the best interest of the county employees. But
I had a question though, you know, looking through the handbook, you know, we have different job descriptions, but there's nothing that says what is an essential employee. I mean, I would think like sheriff's department, but, you know, who is essential? And can you make a decision without having, do you have to be classified essential or non-essential?
no, I mean, payroll is going to be essential. Probably Jane's position is going to be essential. Treasurer's probably going to be essential. I think that's your job as commissioners to determine that, if it gets to that.
Well, I think right now it's safe to assume that any service that we provide that requires 24/7 employee presence would certainly be classified as an essential service. A good example would be
Sheriff's
the
office.
county jail. So that hopefully none of this, you know, will get out of hand. My opinion in this is we are not the federal government. We cannot just print money and throw it in the air. And it's my intent to come through this with our budget intact. I'm not one to be reckless with money, and anyone that worked with me on the county council knows that. So we're going to be real careful, not make any promises that we can't keep or shouldn't do to begin with. So right now, I know the situation is fluid, and the commissioners, I think, I can speak for them on this, we are currently abiding by advice that we're getting from the state and local health departments. So right now, Fayette County is one confirmed case, and we're monitoring the situation on a daily basis.
Another thing that's come into effect now too is our payout from the state for property taxes will be 2 months later than since they delayed that.
Some tax payments certainly will be later than normal. Now, if this had happened 3 or 4 years ago, before we got our budget house in order, we would have been insolvent because of that. So, late tax payments are certainly going to have an impact, but we'll have to see how much comes in late before we know really how it impacts us. So be careful.
Well, the federal government's already extended the taxes for 2 months.
Well, I'm honest, I still monitor the general fund balance on a weekly basis. So right now we're okay, but we don't want to delay tax payments any longer than necessary.
And I looked up some websites, I went to Rush County and then Wayne and Franklin, they all have websites that are kind of up to date, and their procedures are here. They're either like having someone check your temperature, or they're closing and you can do business by phone calls or make appointments. So I mean, I think you're in line by keeping it open, at least with the ones who have it up on their website. So if keeping it, the courthouse open is, but the other, today, some other counties are doing too.
Well, we are open, and right now I don't anticipate closing it to the public. But there again, the situation could change in the next week or 10 days. We don't know. We'll just play it a day at a time.
Hour by hour.
Yeah.
It seems different every hour
Yeah.
in some respects.
I think there was an email, I think just today, or maybe yesterday, from AIC that there's something set up for counties that may have a budget shortfall as a result of this, and I'm sure that's not free unless it's some kind of disaster emergency funds or something for something unexpected, you know,
Yeah.
especially in the bigger areas.
Some counties certainly are going to have a budget shortfall because of this. And I don't know what they're going to do.
Well, I stopped at EMS and gave out some hand sanitizer to, over there, and literally it was the most awkward feeling. He almost was afraid to take the hand sanitizer from me.
Oh, yeah. That's-
Yeah, and so I dump it into a box, and we stood 8 feet apart and had a conversation. And our emergency personnel are going to come into contact with it, and I think we have to be proactive as to how we support them and their families. I'm willing to be a part of any kind of conversation.
Dale, have you guys just, this is again uncharted territory for everybody, but just have you guys thought about setting up any of the people that could, are in key roles or essential roles to where they could, if we get to this point where they could work remotely on a computer? I know that computers can be set up that way so
There's
that,
been some extra permission from the governor to
yeah.
do government work.
I know of the 2 current courthouse employees, their job descriptions are such that allows them to work from home, and their supervisor has allowed them to do that. They're still working, and they're monitored as to what they're doing remotely. So there's not every job in here can
Right.
work from home.
I understand. I was just wondering if you guys had thought about that.
Oh, yeah. Every department head in the building has already determined what jobs can and cannot be worked from home,
That tells me Mr. Pawsey too, and looking at other websites too, but with TV3, we have, not many counting the television, but there was nothing on there. I kind of watched on TV3, and Mr. Pawsey said it's like up to the commissioners or maybe some other people to put notice of, like the courthouse will have these hours. Is that something that would help advertise to people too?
Well, courthouse hours haven't changed.
Well, no, but I mean procedures on the television.
Oh,
on
well,
TV3. Just another.
Personally, I haven't had any discussion with TV3, but I do know that the newspaper, printed it. If there's nothing on TV3 about it, it certainly wouldn't hurt to put it on there.
Lisa's been proactive on Facebook, and I assume probably some other medias that I don't use with them on trying to lay out priorities of why you should come and why you shouldn't come to the courthouse. So, and I've tried to share that with as many sites as I know of, just so
Yeah.
we can get it out. But not everybody's on computers.
Well, certainly, foot traffic into the courthouse is extremely minimal right now. Most people are just staying home. So, we're checking people's temperatures at the door as precaution. So it's, and if it's a non-essential visit, they're asked to either conduct their business over the phone or electronically through email and that sort of thing. And people have been very understanding. And most of the ones that's come in and faced that obstacle were ones that really weren't informed on the measures we was taking to begin with. So,
As we talk about this being ever-changing and very fluid, 48 minutes ago, Illinois joined California and New York by issuing stay-at-home. So, it may not be up to the commissioners here what is going to happen. If our governor decides that's what's going to happen, then we're all stuck to home. So it's just another reason for me to just,
Yesterday,
I'm sorry?
New York did yesterday.
Right.
There's storm.
Just another reason for me to remove obstacles. So, is there anybody opposed to what we just talked about?
No.
No.
Okay.
So essentially, I just, for clarity for the public, is that if the commissioners would decide,
Or the governor.
or the governor would decide, we are saying,
We will figure out
we'll
a way.
support whatever the
We will
commissioners
support what the
decide.
commissioners do
Yeah,
financially. We will figure out a way to make it happen.
okay.
I agree with Dale. I'd like to get through this without messing up our budget. We've worked hard for a number of years to get it where it is, and I'd hate to see us screw it up. But this is something that I can guarantee, in our lifespans, we never thought we would see or even fathom. We maybe thought of some other things, maybe a war or something like that, but nothing to this scale that we're seeing. And it's very real, and I just, again, everybody's perception is different as to what's really going on, but I just want to be prepared and, again, help the commissioners so that they can be prepared for whatever it is, whether it's their decision or it's the governor's decision.
I think in the past, as we've discussed big issues in our community, from the hospital to just, there's been several times in my time that we've always said it's not just three commissioners, it's us and the commissioners. I feel like this is kind of one of those situations where I want to offer any kind of help I can to you, Dale, to the other commissioners. Like, this is a big deal.
I appreciate that, and I'm sure everyone does, Holly. But now I know I've already probably angered some people, but I'm going to be the last one to panic over this. I'm not spreading panic.
Right.
This thing's going to be over with sooner or later, and some people are going to get sick. But at the end of the day, does it really matter if you catch a virus at the courthouse or whether you catch it at the grocery store or at the gas station? If you're bound to catch it, you're going to catch it. So the best, I guess right now, the best remedy is to not come in contact with as many people as possible, Just stay confined as much as you can until this blows over.
Well, you've got people that are senior in age or whatever that feel that if I don't get my tax payment in, I'm going to lose my house. And by leaving the courthouse open, you're compelling them to come in, whether we've made it known to them or not. So, to me, to remove that perception that they have to be here to do business, or those people that have to do it face to face, they don't want to do it via the internet, they don't want to do it over the phone, they want face to face so they know that so-and-so took my check and it's documented and it's done. So saying we get it, there is a big deal about where you get it. If it could have been prevented, if the courthouse hadn't been open, they wouldn't have got it here. They wouldn't have had to come in. So that's just a real thing.
Well, I personally don't want to end up like Italy did, 500 people die in one day because they didn't take precautions. So I just think we have to be proactive and take things serious.
Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of
Well, I
cure.
think as schools close and events and stuff are canceled, one of the things that I told a few people was, unfortunately, there's lawyers in the world, and I can see down the road where they will find an opportunity where somebody's picking up someplace that in their opinion should have been closed.
I'm not even like I would stand that I'm not gonna be like, I'm not gonna jump aboard that for it. But I do believe that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And we just have to be wise and do our very best at supporting our community the best way we can. And that means we have to consider all options as things unfold.
We'll back you up to 6 foot.
I have nothing else. If there's nothing else from the council, I'll move to adjourn.
Well, I just want to make it known, one more thing is the Haven, we are not doing business out of there. And it is, we do have a newly renovated bathroom with a great shower and a washer and dryer. It could be a place if we have like employees that come into contact that want to quarantine and not go home. And I will have it ready by Monday. And so
What I would do is talk to Matt Sure, because my wife brought up one good thing that does it have to be CDC compliant?
I think if you self-quarantine, I don't think you would have. You know what I mean? Like, I think if they don't want to go home because they work in the industry, I don't think that we're held to any kind of level. And I do have like high-speed internet there and supplies. So it is an option, you know, like as a place, and I put it out there. And my board does. It's not just
Thank you.
me.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.